Hey, Matt.
Odie.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. It's been quite a
It
week.
has been quite a week. How's it gone? So,
Hmm.
what's happening?
Well, yeah. So just to set some context, because I know we're going to share this video. So
Right.
I'm a week into our working together on a new fitness sort of goal for 2021. And to me, it started 2 weeks ago because that's when you and I got on the phone, and I was like, we made our deal, right? Which was
Right.
how we were going to work together. And then straight away we had a couple gym sessions, we had the nutrition plan, and there was all that activity. So for me, it's like kind of 2 weeks in,
Right.
but the last week was really the plan in action, particularly on the nutrition and the eating front.
Right.
And it's been already transformative. It's been
Right.
incredible. Yeah.
When you say transformative, what would you say your top 3 transformations would be?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, the top one is I'm down 3 kilos.
Right.
Some of that was water weight, I'm sure. I'm not saying 3 kilos in a week, but I'm down 3 kilos from a couple weeks ago.
That's awesome.
So I think the progress started when I mentally committed, even before I made some of the changes.
Right.
Yeah. So that
3
was
kilos.
that was a big
that's
point.
6 pounds, right? For people who aren't familiar with kilos.
6.6.
6 pounds. 7 pounds.
I'd say closer to 7.
7.
Yeah.
We'll say 7.
My clothes are already looser, and I can already tell a difference just in, yeah.
Right.
Pretty amazing.
How would you say, so that's weight. How about your waist? Yeah. Is there any change in your
waist?
Yeah,
down 2 centimeters.
2 centimeters. All right. It's about an inch, right?
119 to 117.
Nice.
The weight
Perfect.
started at, I think we clocked 114 as the official 114 kilograms as my starting weight, although it had gone up to, it varied. It was 114.8 at one point. And as of today, I'm at 111.8. So
3 full kilos. That's
yeah.
Don't excuse that as water weighted. I think that's what you're doing is you're on track. I mean, that's water weight. I mean, it could be salt. There are a lot of things, but 3 kilos is significant. So that's patting you on the back there. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. No, it's real for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And inch wise, that's like 47 inches to 46. Basically, it's about an inch.
Okay.
So significant.
I'm fully converted to thinking in
I know
centimeters, and now living in Japan for as long as I have.
Right. Same here. Yeah. Same. What would you say as far as the diet itself? Like, that's a transformation in itself, right? Looking at this stuff in the beginning can be overwhelming for people, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, look, there's 2 components to this. There's actually more than 2, but the 2 on the ground action points are what I put in my body and what I do with my body.
Right.
Now, what I do with my body, you've helped to craft a new plan to change things up.
Right.
And I've only had a chance to do 1 session solo. Now, I did 2 sessions with you in the gym to sort of practice the form and understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and what equipment to use. That was great. I was able to go back in the gym and translate that into one of the 3 workouts that we planned, that you helped me design, or that you designed.
Right.
And it went really well. I got it all, I made one mistake where I didn't understand which exercise it was. And I looked up online to YouTube and went, oh, that's what that means. I think it was like the difference between
supinated and pronated.
And pronated, and you were written supinated grip, and that was the mystery that solved the mystery as to, oh, it wasn't this other thing. It was a pull down that was on a different machine. So so I just calmly went and did an extra exercise. Ooh, big deal. So I'd say that the exercise part of it, I had a small surgery, so I've got another few days before I can go back into the gym by doctor's orders. But the bigger deal is the nutrition, man. I mean, that's what I put in my mouth. And so the big change now is everything that goes in my mouth is by design and measured and,
Right. Right.
so food scale. So what I've learned from this, one of the things I've learned is the power of measuring everything. And I'm really glad that last year I measured just calories and I lost 9 kilos on my kind of mostly on my own. Just you helped me with the check-ins.
Sure.
But I wasn't on such a macro oriented plan and just watching calories. And that was really worth it because it's layering it, it's building the muscles and the knowledge piece by piece. So that prepared me to then take it to the next level of granularity and sort of focus and control this year.
Right. Awesome, man.
It's been amazing. I ordered a bunch of stuff online. I've been sourcing food and oats and sweeteners and all kinds of things.
Right. That's awesome. Matt, what would you say that motivated you to be all in? Because you came when we met, I had no clue that you were going to do this, and we met to meet and talk about business and help each other as we do. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to start. Can you meet tomorrow? I mean, it was like you are all in. So what was that?
That's a good question. There's part of this is a mystery. I don't know about other people, but part of it is, why am I ready when I'm ready? There's a piece of this answer that I think is unanswerable. Why we get to a point where we're just, it's time,
Right. Sure.
But I think last year I really wanted to make progress, and I did. Like I said, 9 kilos, and
significant. And you sustained. Yeah,
and by the fall, I was feeling great. I was buying a size smaller in jeans, and I could buy them locally here, and it was all these breakthroughs.
Right.
And I kind of knew that I needed to let that sit in and be the new normal. But I have enough knowledge now, having done things, to know that you can't do the exact same thing, like exercise-wise, forever, or else your body is very tricky. I mean, it figures out how to become efficient.
Right.
You got to switch things up. So that was one thing I knew. The other one was, while I made tons of progress, the vision I have for myself is pretty clear, and I knew I wasn't there yet. So I had taken a significant step, but I wanted more. As Marshall Goldsmith, the famed coach, says, what got you here won't take you there. And I think that's true for this phase. Plus, you had told me last year that to get to where I ultimately want to go, I could do it kind of my way for a while, and then I would need to commit at a different level. So I was kind of preparing for many, many months, and it just all clicked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So your body weights, you're making progress there. It's really clear. Waist is following. How does your confidence, like before you started going to the gym, how was your confidence level in the gym?
Confidence. I mean, well, I've been doing gym for years, so it's just new routine. Am I confident in the gym? I mean, I've always been, ever since going in the gym and having other workouts designed and working with someone before you and then you, confidence is over the 70, 80% level.
Sure.
So it's high. It's more, just getting into the rhythm of it, which I haven't had time on the new workouts that we're doing. But I'm confident.
Right. Yeah. I guess maybe I should reword that. So you had mentioned to me one big thing was that because we're in Japan, right? And Japanese gyms tend to be small compared to the US, for example. Different. So having an understanding of different movements, so that if, say, the barbell is being used, that you can go to dumbbells, or that. Is there a change in that now, or has anything changed?
Well, that was cool, because one of the cool things that you did was you looked at what I was doing with my routines.
Right.
And then I was able to tell you, well, these are the problems I'm having with, what's that machine called with the cable? It's cable machine, I guess.
Yeah, right. Cable machine.
Is that what you call it? I mean, that thing is very popular because you can do so many things on it. And so I'm not the only one that likes to use that machine. And sometimes it's not available for a long time. And so you really carefully went through and not only designed a workout with that in mind, but then you showed me some alternative ways of getting it done if I don't have time to wait around for that thing to, and so that's already increased my confidence just in the first workout when I went in. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, how is your confidence in terms of your success? Like, okay, you've started, we've got a goal at 331, 2021. It's like 8 or 9 weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How's your
100%? I mean, you know, all right, 99.8, you know, it's like,
that's
you know, sure. Yeah, it's, it's virtually, I think for me, it's not so much the workouts, because I know that I could actually achieve this whole goal without ever going to the gym. So those are things that are tools that are going to help me form the body. But what gets really frustrating is to know you're building muscle, which I've done over the last couple of years, and then not be able to see it fully because you have too much body fat.
Right.
So, I think, you know, we have set the workouts are about helping to keep that engine of, keeping the engine of the metabolism really fired up and keep those muscles like activated.
Right.
The real breakthrough and the real confidence source for me is getting the food, the nutrition down. That's been the biggest thing at this stage of where I'm at. And because of the way we're doing this plan with an app, I've just, the last week, I mean, I went through a pretty tough couple of days in the first, I mean, it was not easy emotionally.
It isn't.
Yeah.
No.
It was so overwhelming. Like, how am I going to get all this protein? I'm like putting data into an app. I'm weighing my food. I'm measuring everything. And then just figuring out when I look at a piece of chicken, what does that represent nutritionally, you know?
Right.
So it took about 2-3 days, and then I started getting in the groove, and I started figuring out daily, morning, noon, and night, you know, like what I can eat that's going to get my numbers to where they need to be.
Right.
And with that, after a week of doing that consistently, my confidence levels at near 100, because I know I'm getting the results. Key number one, seeing results, tangible results. And the system is in place, and I know how to source everything now, and I know how to measure it. So as long as I do those things, I'll get this result. There's not really a debate.
Right. That's awesome.
So you kind of take the guesswork out of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy.
And I want to say one more thing, because I know we're going to show this to people, because we want to help other people who might want to have their own journey, and maybe there's some similarities, maybe differences, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. It's all different details, same trip. If I try and do it myself, I go online, I'm going to read 1,000 different opinions about what percentage of your calories should be protein and the horrible things that will happen to you if you eat 33% of your calories in protein versus 25, and why you should only eat lentils. And like, it's important to find someone you trust who's gotten the results you already want and who is healthy, and use your own brain, but then also turn it over. So you have to turn it over. So the partnership with you has allowed me to go, you have achieved with your body something I want to achieve. You know, you can prove, you can show it. I mean, it's proofs in the pudding or lack of pudding around your waist. And so, you're not prescribing anything radical or crazy. It's just balance. It's health food. It's whole food. It's holistic. Yeah. So I might question this or that, but in the end of the day, if I follow it, I'm going to get those results. So the partnership's been huge in that. It's another factor in the confidence level.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm happy to be a partner, man. Thank you. Thank you for your trust.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Pretty exciting.
I wanted to ask, I want to switch this a little bit. You had talked about, we haven't talked about this recently, but in the past you talked about pain in your body. Do you have any issues with pain? Because we want to see this 10 weeks later or 3 months later and ask the same question. Like, do you have any pains in your body, any stiffness or anything that's bothering you at all right now?
I mean, occasionally stiffness in my lower back, or, you know, part of it's sitting wrong for, you know, sitting in a bad posture for too many hours working, you know, so I try and keep things loose or whatever. Overall, though, I have to say I'm not in much pain at the moment. I don't have a lot of pains. And I used to have worse tendonitis And as I have gotten lighter and stronger, that has dissipated. So
great.
Actually, I would say staying pain-free is one of the goals here for this next tranche, is doing the exercises in such a way that I'm not causing myself any injury. And that means watching form, not how, not trying to jack up the weight really high so I can say, I I pushed it today. It's like, that's not my goal at this moment.
No.
Yeah.
Your body, with clients, I get people, and they almost feel a pressure from me sometimes if it's a one-on-one private session, face to face, right, offline. And I always use let your body tell you what you can do. And people start using necks and things like it's a pull down, and they start getting the neck in there and crunching in. It's like this is a weak position. This is a box of losing. This is a box of winning. Get all these things out of the way that don't need to be in there. Let the arms and the back tell you when you're done.
Yeah.
Be patient with it, right? It's patience.
Patience, indeed.
Also, and this is something that we didn't talk about in our first meeting, but if you have any, we have annual health checks in Japan in general. I'm not sure how people do it in the States, but in Japan in general, there's if you work for a company, or I think the city will kind of prompt you to go and get a health check every year. Have you had one recently, Matt? Is there any?
Had one a year ago, less than a year ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The guy was beside himself as he looked at the data because it was so great.
Okay.
And the only thing that he, how can you be this healthy on every measure and be overweight? He couldn't equate those two things.
All right.
I had a bit of a snide response, but.
Well, that's good news, man. I mean, okay. So
look, I mean, I'm a mule, man. I mean, you just and born with good. I mean, I just don't get sick hardly ever.
Right.
Knock on wood, especially right now.
Right.
But I'm very fortunate to be extremely healthy on every front. It's just body fat. It's just BMI, or however you want to measure it. It's
right.
Something I got to get rid of. Legacy. It's been on there a long time, and
sure, we're getting it now. It's coming off quick.
Yeah.
So we're with Matt. We set a 10-week mission, a 10-week target, right? So this is something we're at the beginning of February 2021, and the goal with March 31st. So this is the end of Q1, right? First quarter.
Right.
Is 105, right? Is that 105 kilos is your?
Yes.
And you're at 111.8 today already. So you're approaching it pretty quickly within 9 days, I think, of starting officially with us. So this is something we're setting a mission, a goal, and this focuses us on that goal, rather than saying, okay, I want to be at this, I want to lose this much weight, but actually like putting a date, putting a deadline on it, having weekly milestones to get there.
Yeah. So, time bound. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So actually right now you are way ahead of the goal already. So that's awesome.
Where are my donuts? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And the thing is, you can do it. Like, I mean, with the system that you have, if you can calculate those donuts, you can put them in, but you're going to have to trade off for hunger. Probably. You're probably going to get to a level of hunger where it's like, okay, that wasn't worth it.
The truth is that when you're in it, you don't want to eat donuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality. And frankly, eating whole foods the way I am, I'm not having a problem. I feel my furnace burning hotter. I can feel my metabolism increasing.
Good.
But I do not feel hungry most of the time. I'm hungry in the morning when I wake up, excited to eat my 3/4 cup of oats that have been soaking in 3/4 cup of milk with a little stevia and some blueberries. And that's like the greatest breakfast on the planet for me right now.
Perfect.
But no, I think one of the big revelations is when you're ready mentally and emotionally and everything, and then using the right tools with the right support infrastructure, the people and the processes and the tools. I'm eating toward a goal. Right. It's not eating. It's what do I need to eat so I can make that bar graph look different by the end of the day, that my balance, that everything's balanced. It's been pretty cool so far this week.
That's awesome. And that's music, pure music to my ears, Tommy's ears as well. Whole Foods, I mean, we can't praise them enough, because
they're filling. They're filling. They're very filling.
Vitamins, minerals, got everything in there. And we can actually track those. That's another day. But thank you for sharing that. That's
it's good stuff.
Wonderful. How about so you talked about our partnership, how that's vital. How about so you have a lovely wife. How is
Indeed.
that? Was that changing? I mean, was that challenging in the beginning, or is it changing?
Yeah. Sure. Well, I'm fortunate in that my wife is interested in being healthy and living healthfully and exercising, and she's, interested in it. She's always supportive of me wanting to be healthy, of course, and knows the long-term things. It is disruptive, in the beginning in particular, because if you're used to doing certain things and enjoying certain foods or meals at certain times of the week together, it's had an impact. But she's been really terrific about it, and
awesome.
She knows also that the strictness of it is for a limited time to some degree. It isn't that some of these behaviors aren't going to outlast the goal, but after all, my goal right now is restricting myself, 500 calorie deficit, I think.
About that. Yep. Right? Yep.
So that means I can't eat that forever. Like, shouldn't.
Right. And you won't. And that'll be a funny day where it's like, I can eat more. So,
right.
Really? How does that work?
Exactly. So, I think, and this is such a good time to focus on health. I mean, such a good time with everything else is going on, the pandemic. There's certain fixed things that are happening now. You have to stay home more than before, right? So, the more that things are fixed, the easier it is to then make the variable these more defined behaviors that are going to get to my goal. So it's a good time to do it.
Awesome. That's wonderful. That's a big issue, actually, partnership. I've had people in the past where they've got really great results, and then the partner started to not be happy about it because the partner wasn't changing. For example, somebody was overweight and they became really fit and very attractive, and then the partner didn't, and kind of pulled the other person out, pulled them down. So partnership is vital, right? At least understanding.
Yeah, if you can get your partner hooked in. I mean, I'm just lucky because mine is my wife is really supportive of all this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that I think as I got my act together with having the supplies, and like I'm cooking a bunch of chicken early in the week, I've got different, Tupperware containers now. I'm like starting to really get operations rationalized.
Right.
It's allowing her and us to see where we can eat together. We might eat the same thing. We might eat something that's a little bit different, but it's still a together kind of activity. And that has helped a lot. Right.
Awesome. So you're not carrying your gallon jug of luminescent, colored water to the gym. Have you seen that before? The big muscle dudes with the
yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Gym bags, gloves, all kinds of elixirs and potions.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not there yet. It's something to aspire to.
Right. Are you seeing the world differently than you did previously? We just started, you're like 9 days in. Is there anything that's changed so far?
My goodness. Sure. A couple of things. One is I'm seeing what it looks like to eat for different goals, it's fuel. For the first time in my life, I'm now seeing food truly as a fuel source and a nutrition source, that if I hit a certain target using that as a tool, I will get the result I want, which is healthier life, more energy, more confidence in myself, more variety of things I can go clothing wise, just opens up even more doors. So So yeah, absolutely. I just lost the question in my head, but I think
It's
I got
okay.
it.
So are you seeing things differently than you did previously?
Yeah.
Before you started this? Yeah.
Food is fuel. That would be the number one thing. And number two, just differently in terms of even more confidence. It isn't so much that it's transformed my thinking, but my confidence level and clarity of vision about what I can achieve and when it can be achieved and how to do it is getting much, much clearer. That connection. It doesn't feel so mysterious.
Right. Another amazing thing too, like you talked about the system and having the confidence to reach your goal. Like your goal eventually was talking about an annual goal. So I won't go into detail about it, but your goal that you're shooting for doesn't actually even put you into like a hungry state. That's like, 7% body fat, and you don't even have to ever go there. So you stay on the whole foods, you stay to the plan, it's smooth sailing.
So this is another thing, at least in my experience, I can't speak for anyone else. Sure. The difference between going it myself and trying to kind of white knuckle it myself,
right,
and self-manage and self-research and okay, yeah, you can cut your calories down, but in my experience, you end up really hungry. You end up watching YouTube videos on fasting and going, yeah, I'll fast for 3 days. That'll do it. And
yeah,
it's just that that's why things fail, whereas this approach, you're fed. You're not, and I need to be fed to work. My brain needs food.
Performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually right now you're eating less calories, but you're getting more nutrients probably. I didn't know exactly what you ate before. I don't know that, but say you're eating white rice, now you're eating oats, for example, you're getting more micronutrients in oats than you would from rice or processed food. Right? So
we got off with the white rice a couple of years ago.
Okay,
we've been on brown rice for a while, but I think you're right on balance. I think I am, because I think when you measure things, we were already eating a lot of good stuff. There was some other not crappy stuff in there too.
Sure.
But now it's all good stuff, like all of it.
Right.
And
right.
So I'm sure it's good.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, anything else on this check-in?
Yeah, I think
pressing questions.
Any other things? Any points some things that you've learned so far? Any other? I know it's been quite quick week, but
yeah. I mean, I've learned a ton about food. I've learned a ton about nutrition, because the app I'm using that you suggested is a great tracker of the macros and the micros, and I'm starting to already look at the micros a little bit just with curiosity and not over focusing. So that's been great. But one of the questions that you posed to me before that I think is a great way to maybe button this conversation up is, what are the 3 key takeaways? Or what are the 3 key things, I think is the way you put it, that we're going to focus on for the next few weeks, like moving forward. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it actually partially answers that question. The flip answer, which is true, is the 3 things are consistency, consistency, consistency. But I think, so it's like that's the thing. It's like doing what you do consistently.
Yep.
I'd say more descriptively than that, I would say efficiency, improving efficiency with the routine.
Right.
So the more you do it, the more you figure out, okay,
you will.
It's already taking me less time to get my meal prep done and all of that. I wrote these down here. Consistently measuring my body, my food, everything. And then focusing on form at the gym, not the weight, form.
Sure. Smart.
I think it's consistently focusing on form, measuring, and the consistency increases efficiency unless you're asleep. I mean, if you're awake as a human being, you're automatically looking for efficiencies, whether you realize it or not. And I'm somebody who's always looking for efficiency. So, so that's it for I'd say the next 1 to 3 weeks. Those things are going to be the key.
Consistency, and efficiency with prep, getting your food together, measuring everything, and form in the gym.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks for getting me on the right track, man. This has been great. And the
Thanks,
support
you.
along the way, there's been a couple times where I've just needed a little pick me up or a little encouragement,
Yeah.
and you've been right there. So
Right there.
couldn't do it without you.
Right here. Thanks, Matt.
All right. So we'll do this again when? Next month?
Sure.
Or are we doing weekly? What are we doing?
Yeah, weekly or even bi-monthly, like even every 2 weeks. Let's do it when you well, at least every 2 weeks. I think it's a good shot.
You want to check in again?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Be good to do.
All right.
I'll be on it.
I know. Be watching. We'll be cheering for you.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Hitomi. You've been great also. All right. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. See you, Matt.
Talk to you before then.
All the best. Cheers. All right.